While you are worried about the raging egg prices, someone out there is using the recession to get rich. You may ask, what do you mean? How can anyone benefit from this deranged economy? If you don't know the answer, you probably haven't heard of Graham Stephan. Remember the 2008 financial crisis? It's not a good memory for the average person, right? But for guys like Stephan, it was where their bright future began. Guys like him believe in the famous quote, recessions make riches. But how? Considering the current economy, most people are just making it through the week, much less a future, and even unlikely a bright one. We will answer this and look at Stephan's story for inspiration in these seemingly testing times. But before I spill his secrets, go and spill some love on the like and subscribe buttons. Now let's learn how Stephan made the best out of the worst at only 18 years old. An early start. You've heard the quote, the early bird gets the worm. People like Stephan have learned from this quote and use it to their advantage. So what, do they wake up early and get rich just like that? No, they know that the earlier they start their investment journey, the more profitable it will become. Stephan made his first real estate investment at age 18 in 2008 when people barely had a roof above their heads. This guy was spending to buy multiple roofs. If you knew him while he was doing it, you would have called him an idiot. But Warren Buffett says, bad news is an investor's best friend. When the average guy in the stock market lost everything in 2008, savvy investors were using it as an opportunity to gain, because for them, the recession is a discount. The historically low interest rates and overall depressed property prices allowed him to buy much more than he could have in a prospering economy. A house he would have bought for $220,000 was as low as 9.5% to a meager $180,000, so it was like buying a Big Mac at the price of a kiddie meal. That's how the 18-year-old set his feet in real estate investing. Instead of losing sleep over the declining economy, he learned from legends and used them to his advantage. So what should you do now that the signs of 2023's recessions are clear? Before I tell you that, let's see what to expect in the next few months. Then we will look at everything you can do to make the most out of them. What recessions look like. We have established that recessions are great for investors, life-changing opportunities, and so on. But what do they even look like? You can't make money in a recession if you don't know it's happening. So let's discuss some vital signs to give you an idea. First off, you will start noticing unemployment around you. Decreased wages usually follow this. Next, you watch as assets and everyday essentials start losing value. For example, real estate interest rates saw their lowest point in 2008. Had you seen this video then, you would have recognized the recession in a minute. An earning decline is the recession's soulmate. Where there is a recession, you'll also see signs of a declining revenue. To understand this, first let's discuss the S&P 500. This index tracks the performance of the market's 500 most prominent and well-performing stocks. Usually, if a stock isn't performing well enough, it is replaced by another, better-performing one. However, if more businesses in this index start hinting at slow or negative growth, this clearly shows declining earnings due to the recession. When buying power decreases and companies can't sell products, they will make fewer profits. If you are earning less, you will spend less. This brings us to layoffs. So how will the company pay its 500 employees when it's only earning enough to pay 300? It won't. It will start downsizing. Just go on Google and type in mass layoffs. If you see various big names like Facebook and Twitter conducting mass layoffs, you know what's happening. Alright, enough with the bad news. Next up, we discuss how to get rich during this declining time. Don't miss out on point number 3 because it's worth $1 million. Scale back on spending. Start by tracking your income. Where are you spending? Is it something you need or want? Your mantra should have 2 L's, lean lifestyle. Why spend less? Because you're going to use that money to make more money. Start reinvesting. Do you have enough to last if your earnings decrease in the coming months? If not, you start saving now. An African proverb says, if you want to move mountains, you must start lifting stones today. So brace yourself for a tough tomorrow by preparing today. Cash is no longer trash. Don't get me wrong, my vote is always for investing your cash away. But let's not forget that just in 2018, cash was the best performing asset. It's a great friend to keep around during the recession because you can use it to invest immediately. Even fund managers have been trying to keep higher amounts of cash since 2001 because of its increasing value. Also, if billionaires like Ray Dalio are chanting cash is no longer trash, there has to be some truth. In fact, when Stephan made his first real estate investment, he used the money he had saved up working during high school. Stay on top of your career. For you, rock bottom isn't a depressed market. It's a market that declines at a time when you are jobless. Steady money will ultimately serve as your best defense against the declining economy. If money isn't coming in, you will miss out on the best investment opportunities of the next decade. You may also have to sell any previous investments to make ends meet. So to avoid this, keep your steady stream of income going. Remember Stephan's rule: double down on whatever you're doing. If you're working, work harder and invest double, and if you are saving, then save double. Long term over short. Before you invest money, ask yourself, can I forget about this cash for the next 5 years? If yes, only then should you invest. The most prominent investors do so because they have faith. Eventually, the economy will pick pace again. So instead of looking at your property price and stock charts each month, try investing and forget about them for 5 to 10 years. You will never make it with the big guys if you pull your money out at the slightest sign of trouble. As Peter Lynch says, you need the stomach to invest. If you don't dare to watch the charts dip short term, you can't see them soar in the long term. That's the thing about stocks. They always come back stronger. The S&P 500 has historically dropped by a mean of 29% around recessions, and by a median decline of 24%. However, after its lowest point, the average return the year after was 40%, and the year after that, it reached 58%. The rule is to stay in the game. This is how the next Peter Lynch and Warren Buffett are born, and if you play your cards right, it could be you. Next, let's look at the art of investment. This is Stephan's most secret strategy, so stay with me to get in on it. Have a diverse portfolio. So what is the hype of having a diverse portfolio? It is the best solution for people who don't have enough guts to watch the graphs zigzag exponentially. Remember that famous quote, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket"? It applies here. Significant drops can take a toll on you when you are invested aggressively. Try putting your money in multiple sectors to beat the panic attack each time the graph turns downward. So even if a stock suffers a 20% decline, you won't be affected because it will make up only 10% of your total investments. And when I say a diverse portfolio, don't just limit it to stocks, start exploring other areas to invest in. For instance, walk in Stephan's footsteps and enter the real estate market. You can even learn something from Dave Ramsey and purchase gold. Either way, divide your assets to increase your chances of getting rich, even in the worst times. Think of your portfolio as a table. The more legs under it, the better the chance of staying upright. This concludes all the right moves to make during the upcoming tough times. Remember, investment requires patience rather than intelligence. All the big names in the industry know that. Eventually, the economy will bounce back. If you prepare now, you'll be ahead of the market when the time is right. So don't let the charts deter you, and start your journey today. That's all the financial wisdom I've got for you today, folks, so like and share it with someone who needs it. Catch you later with more secrets about getting rich.